Hey, Dave Sheen here. This is this week's edition of Diary of a Plant-Based Athlete. So, it's our second one. So again, it's been another weeks of whizzing by. Again, I've my first competition, held at the West in less than 2 weeks. So Saturday, the 25th of June. So, what has been going on this week? As I said to you last week, our first vlog on this topic, I'm going to be sharing with you about my nutrition, about my training, and destroying some myths and answering some questions that will have been put to me across the social media. So, in terms of my training, like one thing this week was my swimming. I went for a couple of swims early in the week, and the time wasn't improving. It was staying around the same. One session even worsened, and this was quite frustrating for me. But what happens is when you get frustrated, what's really important is you don't just get angry and frustrated, but you need to act on it. Remember, if something's not right, there's a reason for it. So I need to look at it and see, what's wrong? What is it that's stopping me from progressing? Am I overtraining? Am I not eating the right nutrition? Am I not sleeping well enough or long enough or high enough quality? What is this going wrong? So I looked at different things, and I realized one thing, I hadn't been doing as much yoga and flexibility as I should, and as I line up for the week. One weakness I really do have in my training, that I plan to do lots of yoga and flexibility, but I never do as much as I should. My body's quite tight, especially when I work mainly online these days. So I did more work on my shoulders and loosening them up, and my arms and my rotator cuffs. Also my sleep, I wasn't sleeping as much. So this week I've slept a lot more. I've made sure I've got 7 or nearly 9 hours. Again, I work off an hour and 45 minutes sleep cycle. So it's all in batches of an hour 45. So it's either 7 hours or 8 hours 45. So I felt a lot better for that. But what was most important was today, I went for a swim. It was only a light swim, but I said, look, I'm focusing on technique. I'm focusing on my breathing, because I felt it got a bit erratic. So I focused on it. So focus on, a technique that I use in terms of where I rotate my shoulders, how I enter the water, how fast I come out of it. Also my head turns and my breathing under the water and over the water. It was about a 1,000-meter swim. Ended up being my fastest time in weeks in terms of my split per 100 meters. So it showed that what I had been doing and why my time hadn't been improving was largely down to the fact I was rushing my entries. I wasn't dragging as much as I needed to do. I wasn't breathing right under and over the water, and my head turns maybe were a bit too frequent. So, and I wasn't as relaxed. My body wasn't relaxed. So you take any issue you have and analyze and see where can you improve. What is it that you need to improve on? Okay, did a lot of cycling this week, did a lot of different sessions, stood up, one session was 10K easy, 10K full on sprint, 10K easy, 10K full on sprint. Really enjoyed that session. Just when you're constantly going for 40, 50K cycles, it can get a bit boring. And one of the key principles I teach out of my 3 keys for getting results is muscle confusion. And even for endurance athletes, it's the same. You need to have muscle confusion. So even though you need to be doing the distance and, clocking up the miles, it's still important to shock it up. And I felt good from that. And my running, did a little bit of runs, not as much because I have a little bit of an injury in the sole of my right foot. So I'm taking care of my foot. Plus last week on the long one, when I did the triathlon match, I'm in my triathlon, something went right up through my shoe and up my foot. And it was a pretty nasty little injury, and that's still healing. It's quite a big hole actually. So I haven't done a lot of running, just a little bit, just again to keep those joints moving. Tomorrow now I have my triathlon, so I'm going to see, am I going to do a half or 2/3 or a full trial. Last week I did a full one. We'd only, less weeks ago I might do a half to 2/3 week, and then later on go out and put on a wetsuit for the first time in 2 years, because I need to get ready for swimming in the wetsuit in the race, so I need to do a practice session in the 2. So that's been my training. Pretty happy. It was for in the week. Did the week quite positively in terms of what I've done. Nutrition is always kind of similar. I'm having, although this week I've added a lot more smoothies. So my smoothies with carrot and cucumber and apples and bananas and dates and peanut butter and wheatgrass. I've had more of them each day, 2 or 3 versus 1 very odd time 2. I've definitely eaten a lot cleaner in general, and carved up a bit more. So again, starting to load up more because I'm doing a lot more training. I have the odd treat, it's not the end of the world. It's just the way I've looked at it. Typically I can be quite strict in it. I have nothing except for like 1 thing a week, but this week I've had a few little bits because I'm doing so much training, it doesn't really matter. It's not going to impact my results, but depending what you're trying to do, if you're early on your training, make sure you keep it very clean. It will accelerate your results, and also help you burn fat if that's what you have to do. But in general, I said it's been clean, lots of smoothies, lots of pasta, some bread, not a lot of bread, staying clear of bread a lot of time now. Not just bad, but I get more energy and feel better when I have things like pasta and porridge and lots of fruit and smoothies. So that's been it. I've improved on my sleep. As I said, that's been a big thing. I mentioned earlier on about the keys to training, getting results. I'm going to just briefly speak about them now, just to finish off in terms of my education part of this Diary of a Plant-Based Athlete. So there's 3 keys, and I have a long video on this I put out during the week, so check it out on my other channel, my Dave Sheehan channel versus Go Vegan Grow channel. So it's intensity, progression, muscle confusion. You need those 3. So you need to, every session go as hard as you possibly can, push your body to its limit. Progression, every workout, do more, because naturally we will adapt once we sleep well and we feed our body right nutrition. We will naturally adapt to be able to do more the next session. And muscle confusion. Keep shocking up the body. The body gets bored just like you will, so it's important for you to shock it up and make sure that, you know, your body gets new challenges and new stimulations, and for your mind as well. Remember, most training's in the mind. I could train incredibly for 6 months for a race and be physically in the best condition ever, but if in here I'm not in the right condition on the day of the race, I'm finished. Okay, so it comes down to this. So work your mind all the time as well. So I hope that was helpful. This is the story of a plant-based athlete. It's the second one. Every single Friday is we put one out all the way up to my race on October 16th, my most race. I have other races, but my main focus is to finish 2 hours 15 minutes in the Olympic distance triathlon on October 16th. So please get behind me, watch these videos, share these videos, because, you know, they'll help anyone that's into training and, you know, triathlon or any of these kind of sports. Could give someone a spark, could give someone a little bit of information that might help them, maybe a bit of inspiration. Any questions or comments, put them below and I'll make sure I'll answer them for you personally. So put them below the video. And remember, Ask Dave Anything. Every single Tuesday I'll answer one of our followers, anyone on social media, a question. I'll pick out one question, I'll dedicate a video to answer it on our Ask Dave Anything series. And our Go Vegan Grow interview will be coming up. I think our next one is the 23rd of June. It's the reorganized one with Klaus Lucas. So all about, you know, food and also rearing vegan children. So make sure to check out the details for that. Check out everything below. Share, subscribe, comment, questions. Let's really get engaged here, and I'm here to help you and support you in every way I can. And remember, whatever your reason, Go Vegan Grow. Save yourself, save animals, save the planet.